The last part of what he said was, I don't love you anymore.
Dang. Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you and your loved ones are doing well, staying safe and healthy during these tough times. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and I hope you guys enjoy this video.
Alright, so based on the title, we are going to be talking about the time where long distance broke us up. First, I really want to mention thank you guys so much for the love and support on our anniversary video where I surprised Matt on our 4-year anniversary, and I created like this video montage of just our relationship within the past years of us being together. We still get really loving comments till this day, and it really warms our heart to know that we inspired you and pushed you guys to make a video for your significant other. So I want to shout out to you guys for the love and support on that video. In the beginning of that video, I did mention that we met in 2010. We became best friends, and then in 2013 we tried to be in a relationship, but timing wasn't on our side, and that was actually when Matt and I broke up because of long distance. So we're gonna get into detail. We're gonna have like a good conversation right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation that I never wanted to have. Rewinding back to 2013, the year I graduated high school, class of 2013. What's up, y'all?
2012.
About to have a 10-year anniversary. Oh my god, we're old. We started to like each other a lot summer of 2013 after I graduated. We were best friends previously. We spent a little more time together. Val was actually living in San Jose and going to community college.
Yeah.
And I was still in the ranch, just graduated, and I actually was already planning on moving down to SoCal and Los Angeles with my family. And we were hanging out that summer prior to me leaving. We just vibed a lot because we're already best friends. You know, when you're best friends, you kind of tease each other a lot, and it turned into teasing, into flirting, and then we started liking each other. We had a really long talk randomly. This one day, we were actually at a Bank of America with our homie Alex, my best friend. We started getting real serious. We're like, dude, I think we like each other and we should be in a relationship. We had a really long talk. We talked about everything and anything. Is it worth it? Should we do it? What's the consequence? Long story short, we did it. Yeah. We ended up committing to each other and saying, you know what, it's gonna work. So I moved to LA. She stays in San Jose. We actually started talking.
April until August, we were talking, having a good time, having a great 2013 summer, and then August, Matt left, and that was very hard, but then I ended up making it work by surprising him in September. And that was the time when I asked him out. It was a great time. He said yes. He was showing me around the city. We were just two young teenagers.
Super young, 18. I was 18.
I think I was 18.
Yeah,
18/19.
She always acts like she's so much older than me. You're the same age.
I'm 4 months older.
Okay.
Anyways, it was a great time, and then after the trip, obviously sad, back to long distance relationship.
That's the worst.
Then as the month started to go by, I noticed that Matt was somewhat distancing himself. I mean, he was already distant, he was already living in LA, but when it came to texting him and calling him, he wasn't as consistent as usual, and I knew that something was wrong, and I started to freak out a little bit. I texted Matt. I was like, hey, are you okay? And then next thing you know, he sends me this message that I didn't see coming, but yet I did, and he just starts explaining I don't think I could do this. He ended up breaking up with me through text.
Yeah, yeah, that's not one of my proud moments for sure. When you're a coward, you just text them. I didn't want to call her because it's harder to do it that way, and I also didn't want her to come see me or I come see her, because we would be wasting the travel hours, and that's devastating because you gotta go back.
Oh yeah.
So I broke up with her through text, which was super sad.
Really sad.
Obviously, it sounds all dumb, who breaks up with someone during text? But honestly, we were super young, and I was super inexperienced, and you should be a man about it and let them know how you feel. If that way, at least there's closure, because breaking up through text is the biggest cliffhanger ever.
It is.
It's hey, I don't even know what I said. What did I say?
You were basically saying, I didn't expect it to be this hard. I don't really remember all of it, but the last part of what he said was, I don't love you anymore.
Dang.
He said that I still love you, but I'm not in love with you. And then that hurt
Okay.
so much.
So I didn't explain why I broke up with her, which maybe we should have talked about. I was living in a new city. I just started my first job. I was at a busser in a restaurant, and I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my family, and I was sleeping on the couch. I didn't have my own personal space. Where I was at in my head was I wasn't in a good place. You know, I had no privacy. I was still figuring out like my situation and getting used to the new environment. And I felt like I couldn't give my all to Valerie because I just wasn't in a good space. That's where the disconnect came from. I started getting detached. I was trying to figure out my own situation, and like Valerie was so many miles away, and you know, a text and a phone call just wasn't enough, especially when I didn't have the privacy. It's just, when you live in a small 1-bedroom apartment, you know, it's hard to FaceTime. My reason behind me wanting to break up with Val is because I felt like I was cheating the relationship. I wasn't giving enough effort, and I didn't care as much as she did. And that's why I broke up with her, but it shouldn't have been through text.
That was by far the worst breakup I ever experienced. My heart was literally aching. I was crying my eyes out. I was bawling so hard. I wasn't even thinking of it as like I lost my boyfriend, but yeah, I was. But it was more hitting me that bad because I felt like I lost my best friend. You know, and I think that was even worse to me. I was crying. I called his best friend Chang, and I was like, Chang, he broke up with me. And then Chang was like, hey, do you want to go to LA to go see him?
Oh yeah.
And Chang is such a down ass homie. I can pick you up. We can go there. You can talk to me.
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't?
No, I don't know about this.
Oh yeah. So Chang was like saying, like offering me, or offering to drive me there, and then I just remembered you saying, "Don't come here."
Yes, I definitely was like, don't come here.
And then that hurt even more. Like Matt was just saying like, don't come here. I don't want you to waste your time. And then I was just like, Jay, he doesn't want me to come. After the breakup, I was very sad. I started to see Matt on social media. He was like working out, getting his gains, looking so fine. And then I was even more sad. And then I was just like, okay, you know what? He's doing him. I can do me too. So I'm gonna hit the gym too. I'm gonna run. We didn't talk for a couple months, which was really sad because like what Matt said in the beginning, if you guys caught it, but we did have a conversation at Bank of America, and I was more of the, I don't think we should try it because I don't want to risk losing my friend. And then Matt was more of the, I think it's worth the risk. You never know unless you try. And then for him to say these things and persuaded me to finally pursue a relationship with him, and for him to like just break up with me the way he did and hurt me the way he did, I was just very upset, thrown off too, because I was just like, wow. Well, and it was through text, and I was like, come on, bro, like we're best friends. I could have at least had like a phone call or FaceTime.
Well, like I said previously, it was such a good idea going into the relationship. But once we got into the relationship, I totally was not ready for it. Of course, if you guys love each other, you'll figure it out no matter what. But like for us, for me, because I know Val always loved me no matter what, I just was not ready. I don't know, the timing was just not right. I wasn't feeling it. I guess at the time, I thought it would be easier for me to just be by myself. Yeah. So that's the route I went with.
So after the breakup, a couple months later, we didn't talk. And the only way that I can actually see how Matt was doing was through social media. And even though he was posting a lot of him like getting fit, getting gains, you know, when you break up with someone, you're kind of like questioning if you should unfollow them because you can't deal with the pain. But for me, I decided to keep following him because I knew that I didn't want our relationship to ruin our friendship. So I continued to follow him. I got to see how he was doing, and then I realized that he moved into a new house. So then that's when I started to reach out to him again and, you know, just see how he's doing, and surprisingly he would talk to me. And then from there we started to talk again. We texted each other here and there. I would call him. I was more of the person who was reaching out to him more, and Matt was more of like, oh, okay, like she's calling, and he actually made the time to talk to me. So I thought that was cool. Then in August 2014, I decided to come visit him because my sister mentioned that she wanted me to come to town. My sister was like, oh, come visit me, but go stay somewhere else, something like that. And
Yeah,
then
because she was going to school in SoCal.
yeah,
so that's
yeah,
why.
yeah. So I was able to use my sister as an excuse to come to SoCal. I texted Matt, I reached out to him, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in SoCal.
I know.
Can I stay over? And then surprisingly, you said yeah. And I was so surprised. I was like, what?
I think it's just because like when the last person you've been with is your ex, it's like, well, maybe we can just like, you know, hang out. Like you don't know what you're gonna get from it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I was just like, yeah, I have nothing else to do. So why not?
Yeah, so we hung out. I vlogged the whole trip.
Yeah,
you guys can go ahead and watch it because it's still on my other YouTube channel. But if you guys watch it, you guys can just see how our feelings for each other kind of like grew. Even though my feelings were always there, but you can see Matt like slowly catching feelings.
Yeah, she freaking trapped me.
I did not trap you. You
Like,
trapped yourself.
Obviously, I knew what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
But the results was like more than I expected.
Yeah.
So, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
So,
we hung out for
yeah.
a full week.
She stayed her ass for a full ass week. Like what? Like
And you let me.
I know.
I have to thank my sister. If it wasn't for her even telling me to come down that week or come down in SoCal in general, I don't think Matt and I would even be where we are now.
That trip was the changing point in our relationship. If she would have never visited, it would have never been anything. We would
Yeah.
still be long distance. And that sucks. That trip totally like altered the future timeline. And I had no clue.
After that trip, the first thing that Matt texted me was, I miss you. And then from there,
We were
I
just like,
think Matt just realized like I actually genuinely do miss her.
yeah,
And then since then
yeah.
you started liking me and then it led to love.
And to go back to like the whole timing thing, the timing was perfect
yeah.
when she came and visited me because I actually just moved into a big home with my family. So I went from a shitty LA 1-bedroom apartment to a fat house with privacy and just space, and I was at a good little point in my life, and you know, Valerie came in and I had the time to talk to her, and you know, it just worked out. At first, the reason why we broke up initially was just because I have no space, no privacy, and my time was kind of like limited.
Yeah. You were just not at the right like
Mind frame.
and state to be in a relationship.
Yeah, and you know, it just shows you that communication and effort goes a long way, because that's all you have in a long distance relationship. So definitely, those are the two things that any relationship should be, you know, like very strong on.
Yeah, very consistent on.
Yeah.
And FaceTime calls, knowing each other's schedules.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. So we had a really good long distance relationship after the breakup, but we're talking about the breakup right now, and
sorry.
I think my biggest takeaway from it is that when you're in a long distance relationship, you have to talk to that person, and you gotta want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, hey, how was your day? Okay, that's cool. Like, you gotta be engaged. You gotta ask them like every little detail about your day, just so that you guys can connect. Really share like you guys were there with each other.
Yeah.
And that honestly will keep a long distance relationship going. You gotta always just be honest and just communicate and try. That's all you can ask for.
Definitely have trust in there too.
Yeah, timing is very important, where your headspace is at, and just, we had a lot of communication
A lot.
for like 2 years,
For
right?
2 years. Yeah, we were in a long distance relationship for 2 years.
Yeah.
Until I moved to LA, but we can talk about that in another video if you guys are interested. That is the story of how long distance broke us up. We actually started our relationship through a breakup.
Yeah, the relationship, it was only like a couple months and I literally broke up with it.
Yeah,
So,
it's okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
But hey, look at us now.
I know, together. We have our faces on our walls. We have our own
I'm
place.
trapped.
No. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys on our next video. Bye, guys.
Peace.